for me, there's always a gift in the gap. Always. And I just receive it. Always a gift.
I really relate with what Lynn's saying, and I think it's pretty interesting because we started at the same time, and that feeling when I'm going about my day and I get that moment of silence, really notice it now and really grateful for that. And yeah, it's different to me because I think in the past I never really had them moments. Or if I did, I'd fill them in. Where now I'm more relaxing into it, appreciating it. And just, yeah, I'm really grateful for that. It's like a bit of extra peace in your life, every moment of stillness compared to chatter, just bringing us closer and closer to the silence and the bliss and our hearts. So thanks for sharing, Lynn. Big love, guys.
It's weird that what we want begins to show up when we do this.
Mm-hmm.
What I love is it's more us specifically saying we want something, and by going into that space, we get given what we really want that we weren't even aware that we wanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
The key to I don't know. Because you will always have to be given an answer. And when we say I don't know and allow the space, it appears, and that's flow. We take the action. How well did that line up? Because we're fine tuning what it is we want along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So as I opened it this morning, opened our gathering, is what I'll call our it. And I thank and I honor Pascal for holding this space of gathering. Thank all of you for creating space for breakthrough. And breakthrough of our genius. And that we scatter. We go gather again. So what would you, as we come to a complete at the top of the hour, what would you share this was for you?
For me, opportunity to see the truth of my power and then to take aligned action that allows me to fulfill my highest potential.
Yes, and
Endless, limitless, infinite, creative being in all forms of color, action, being, doing, having, loving, sharing, committing, receiving, giving, receiving more, giving more, never ending, continuous happy love.
this is also tension. So notice when I say yes and, feel your tension. What is your tension?
My tension was, Jesse, there is no yes and. And then I was like, hold on, there is, because it's limitless. So then I proceeded. And I'm not in tension. I'm in flow now, in ease.
Flow is a tension too. Just not the way we're used to it. Right?
The tension to create.
Mm. And I wasn't asking you, Lynn. I was asking the group. Because they were all in the same tension too. And I honor you for stepping into this space. So yes, and
I loved your yes and extension there, Lynn. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, me too. There's always more. The pull of more.
When you extended that yes and, Lynn, I felt like you really went so deep. And like that deepness that you went to, that other layer of deepness, I feel like you took us there with you. Endless, infinite, creative joy. Wow, thank you, Lynn. I love that.
Thank you, Joe. I love you.
Yeah, it was beautiful to hear. Because I've not heard you in that. I've not heard you in that space. I don't feel like before. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I'd like to say that when Jesse asked me, like, what do you want to transition to? I noticed a lot of tension in me because I wanted to find the answer. And then I used this technique of I don't know. And that was the first time that I realized that my throat and my heart were connected together. And no answer came up, but I stay in that tension. And I still don't know where it's going to transition, but I think it will come when it's time. And you guys shared your beautiful wisdom, and it filled my heart. What about if the transition was to feeding our heart? I don't know.
Yes, and. What if it was? Sometimes we have to ask that question too. What, and if it like, then what does that mean? We're just scratching the surface of learning how to create, is what that means.
Yes, and
Yeah, we all know our heart is way more powerful than our brain. And I feel like when I feed my heart, like my energy expands. And that's the way I can reach more people, to feed their heart as well, to tune into themselves, to look inside what's there instead and outside of themselves. Yes, and I have this feeling that Nikki has something to say about this.
Nikki says the heart beats before the brain.
Mhm.
And the yes and on Jesse with us scratching the surface of his creativity. I'd say, and remembering who we really are, who we truly are at the core, and stepping into that power.
So in that, I honor taking my focus off of my business for 3.5 years and putting it on something completely different. So that I could come into and find me, be me, and learn how to do that. Learning that is never done. And when that one moment dropped in my lap, I knew without a doubt it was a yes and. So yes and. What's the difference between the two tensions? What would you say to those that haven't experienced it and think they have?
Would you not say that everyone's kind of experienced it, but they're just maybe not aware of it and defining it as a wobble?
No, only you would know your experience that you could speak to. And when you know it that, then you would know they have their unique version of that. So you listen for it. So Joe, would you say you've had that before? Noticed it before? How would you answer that rather than trying to figure out what everyone else could answer it as?
Well, a wobble comes to me when I don't know what I'm doing or if I'm going off track. And I think that's something everyone goes through.
Yes,
Because
I
like,
accept.
like explaining this to someone like that hasn't had it before. I think everyone's had it before, but it's how you see it and where you see it.
And why is there so much resistance to the word tension?
Because it's normally got like a negative connotation to it.
Exactly. So that's the ones that we look for that are automatically already triggered.
Are we looking for
See?
them, or are we just waiting for them to pop up?
Well, so in that question, I say we're listening for, you tell me how you would answer that.
Yeah, because if we were looking for them, it's like we're looking for problems, which is never ending. That's why deciding what you want and what's in the way is only dealing with the struggles in between that, rather than just saying, because that's what the therapists are doing. It is say, okay, what's the problem? Do you know what I mean? And just go straight into the problems.
And the only way through it is to hold on to the wobble, not run away from it.
Yeah, and that's an uneasy feeling for me, and I guess for a lot of people. And that's when distractions come in.
There you
That's
go.
when
So that is the most important part, is right there. So that
Yeah.
might be what just that's the only thing to listen for then.
What, the avoidance?
That's one. Yes, and
Being scared. Not sure.
yes, and stuck is another one. Yeah. When we
Safety.
get stuck, what do we need?
Help.
Someone else.
Or do we think we need someone else, but really we need ourselves?
No, someone else helps us see it in ourselves. You know, so that's where it comes down to, it matters who the other self is.
Mm.
Are they going to tell you information, or are they going to help you find your heart? Your genius and break through. Think you've ever tried walking up a river?
Yeah.
Really easy when it's about ankle deep.
Yeah.
You can do it when it's about knee deep. Waist deep, that's a little bit harder. And if it gets any higher than that over your belly button, you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So think about that water you're in walking upstream, and how confident are you when that water is right around your ankles?
When I show my ankles, I'm confident.
And then when that water comes up to your knees, what does that feel like?
a little less confident.
And it's what you want is up that stream. You have to go up there to get it.
Determination.
And so the water, then just that water rises, it rises, it rises through your thighs and up. Now it's really cold because it hits that part. This is like crystal clear water, glacier water. Now it goes up just to your waist. What's it feel like now?
A struggle.
And you're in the middle of this thing. You're not laughing.
Exhausting.
What you want's right up there. And if you don't have it, you're going to die.
Yeah, worry, stress,
That
panic.
water's coming up. You can't get you. It's all, there's nowhere for you to go. That water just coming up.
Eventually, I'm probably just gonna give in and just float away.
So what would you do just before you did that? What words would you say?
Can't do it.
Okay, let's reset that. And what are we going to say now?
I can do it.
Okay. Let's
Keep
say,
going.
I don't know. I don't know. And when you say, I don't know, what happens in that river?
I don't know. Just get hit with a wave of peace.
And then what?
I can refocus
Then what?
on doing what I need to do without the chitter chatter.
That's right. So you've let the power of nature, the flow of this river, this glacier, turn you around from what you had always focused on, going uphill, exhausted, stressed, worried. The water's only always been between your ankles and your chest, right? And then you'll swim. And so now instead, with I don't know, you just turn around and surrender and float down the river. And you just see what you've always been going for just from the other side, because you're going towards it now. That's when we know we're going for what we want. And that's all that matters.
How do you know when you're going for what you want? When you're not going to stop till you get it?
No. And yes. I mean, you have to tell me where you're at in the river before I could answer that for you.
Say I'm
Because
close.
the actions are completely different between the two. Do you see it?
I don't think there's far. It's just getting deeper and deeper, and you can see it in sight.
How about the rest of you? What do you notice? What did you observe in yourselves? What
Yeah,
role were you holding?
Yeah, what I notice is like, yeah, I really imagine like when the water was going up and up and up and going for a goal. If you're always going upstream, that might not be a true goal. And when you let go and you surrender and you go with the flow of the river, that's what you know, that you're going for a true goal. Because we have this thinking that it should be hard to reach your goal. What if it's not? So when I'm in the flow, that means I'm going for what I want. I truly want. A goal should be fun. I watched a video about fitness yesterday, and he make it so simple, but he kind of show how complicated we look at things. We think marketing is like the hardest thing, and like we have to reach as many people and this and that, but like a company is just servicing people. And the more people you service, yeah, the more money you'll make, or the more, yeah, the bigger your company will be. So it's to find something that people want. Or put awareness to people to create that need. Because a lot of people don't think they need what we do. But if we shine light on that, they'll see it in themselves without forcing it. Anybody else observe anything from the structure that Jesse created?
For me, what I realized is that the power of meaning and what I make things mean about me. And is it really struggle? Or is it just the tension of going for what I really want, what I'd really love to have? And when I come up against resistance, what do I make that mean about me? And if I really make it mean something about me, a core belief coming up, I may quit. But if I notice that and say, wow, this is just resistance, I'm experiencing resistance here, and get quiet and still and allow the next obvious step to become, to come up. Like in the river, there's resistance. What does that really mean? Does it mean I can walk a little bit towards the edge and it will be less deep, and then I continue towards that which I'm choosing? And resistance and all of that is part of the structure. It doesn't have to mean anything in particular. We get to choose what it means. It doesn't have to be personal. And for myself, when I notice I'm making it personal, it's like a thank you. Wow, thank you. I was making this personal. And it's not. And that's the gift. And I get to choose the next obvious step. And just let the resistance be there, because it's the resistance that's pulling me towards that which I'd love to experience. It becomes not resistance, it becomes just tension. And tension is, I take that back, tension is what's pulling me towards. The resistance is pulling me back. The tension can be pulling me towards that which so it's how I frame it, how I define it, how I place meaning that creates the experience for myself. And then I can step into the joy of it rather than the struggle of it.
It's so good to hear you guys, your learnings, yeah, like what's showing up for you, how you're breaking through.
And it's up to us to choose to go upstream or going with the flow of the river. You always have a choice. As long that you have your 2 feet in the river.
What I was like, I know there's going to be one of the most important choices in a day. Right? We all have one. We just don't know when it's going to show up or which one, right? Because we have the whole day left. And it's like, well, this one might be it, right? The one big choice of the day. I only want to make one big choice. Why would I want to make any more than that? So I keep my focus and my requests on the most important thing I need to know. And oh my God, do I see people around me wobble in that? It's not my pattern. I know the information I need. I know the requests that I have. I know where I'm going. And I know they don't. My lesson is how much patience to have with that, which I've learned here. And still not effective enough.
Who says?
I still have resistance.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Like, I don't want to go. So because then that just means I'm by myself and I'm alone. So I already know how that works.
I want
Do
to
you know-
stay in this space we've created because it's been really fruitful.
When you say big choice, could the big choice be the reason for the big resistance? Can we take that big choice and break it down into littler choices?
Oh, sure, if you want to. But you miss the point if you do. So just notice somewhere off the orientation is completely different between us of how we observe that. Meaning how I spoke it is not what was listened. No judgment. That just I'd listen to know, I see where that is. Better yet, my experience, I know where that experience of that orientation will take it. That's problem solving, Joe. So the intent that I made was like I'm anticipating that I have one big choice. We all have many choices every day, right? But if I'm only anticipating one big one, then that's the one I'm going to put the effort and energy into. And it's like, is this it? Nope. Okay. Then what's the choice? See, I'm not giving it any more than that. Now you got something. What's the difference between the two? Contrast. Now that says what why you weren't able to see it. Anyone else like to have some space, some floor? Before we transition.